here talking to Christian Kane of the new TNT series Leverage, which starts this Sunday.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. It's been a really good ride, and we get to kind of enjoy the fruits of our labor, if you will.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back to Dallas. I know you were born here.
I was, yeah, and I've lived here 2 other times, so I've actually lived in Dallas 3 times in my life, so it's fun to be back in my hometown.
Well, when you're in LA, what do you miss most about Dallas?
Oh man, just people. I mean, it's like I've got a bunch of friends out there. I hang out with a bunch of people that are from the South, Southern boys. Whether it be even all the way from Iowa to Alabama to we kind of the country boys kind of stick together. But it's the people. It's the people I grew up with. Los Angeles is full of different types, and I enjoy being home and being around people that are like me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you can spend some time here.
Yeah.
What appealed to you about the Leverage show?
Well,
and how were you approached about it?
2 things really caught me right away on a show like Leverage. That's Dean Devlin being the producer and directing for the first time, and then John Rogers wrote it. I've been friends with John for many years, and he wrote Transformers. These are 2 action guys. A guy like me goes to LA. You pray that you get to work with Dean Devlin and John Rogers. So as soon as I saw their names attached, I really wanted to be a part of it. John Rogers wrote it, created it. He kind of wrote this role for me, actually. He had me in mind, and down right there at this day and age in Hollywood, that's such a big. It's not only a compliment, but it's just something that doesn't happen a lot, and so I was very, very thrilled to. And I read it. It's funny because I read it. Dean likes me to tell this story. I read it, and it said Elliot Spencer walks into a bar with wire rimmed glasses on and sipping a cup of tea. And I just threw it across the. I didn't know these guys were attached to it. I threw it across it, went behind the couch, and my agent called and said, "Man, did you read the script?" I go, "Yeah, it's not for me. It's not the role for me." He goes, "Did you read it?" And I was like, "Let me take another look at it." He's like, "John Rogers wrote it," and I was like, "Oh, well, and Dean Devlin." And I was like, "Oh, wait." So I went and got it, and it said Elliot Spencer walks in, wire rimmed glasses, sipping tea, kicks the crap out of everybody in a bar, and I was like, no way! I just thought it was some kind of a dork role, and I go, get me on a plane to Los Angeles, and so we flew in. I flew in. Thank God I made it, because I almost dropped the ball on it just by going off the first thing I read about the characters. So, and I went in and I met with Dean Devlin, and they said yes, and it's TNT, so I've done so much work with TNT that I feel like TNT just went ahead and signed off on me because I've got a pretty good track record with them, so and it's my favorite network to be a part of. I'm blessed in so many different ways with this show. It's ridiculous.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, now you also get to assume a lot of kind of sub roles in your character. You don't exactly put on costumes or disguises.
Sometimes.
But now you do that in all the episodes I've seen so far, so it's kind of a part of the role.
It is.
Is there one of those sub-roles that you played that was the most challenging for you? I mean, I've seen you as a computer geek type guy, and then you're a kind of a server at a party.
Yeah.
So,
hey, the best thing about this job is that you go to work every day. You're an actor, so you go to work every day. You play a role, but in this show, we get to play different roles inside of the roles. You know what I mean? So you get to like almost be 2 different characters or another character. So it's never going to be like I'm not always playing the same guy like you fall into on so many different television shows. In this, I get to play somebody else every once in a while.
Right.
And it's a lot of fun. It's got that Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12 type thing. No, they haven't given me the tough role, like the outside of the Gina Bellman, God bless her, she has to do different accents every freaking episode, and she's brilliant at it. She's one of the best actresses I've ever worked with. Timothy always creates a character. It's so fun to watch Tim come in and just do a character. Those guys get the hard stuff. Gina has to learn a different accent, and Tim really has fun with it. Tim plays a lot of different characters and stuff like that, and it's fun to watch. Knowing him so well, it's fun to watch him jump inside like a different body, and it's almost like watching that, which is why he's Academy Award-winning actor. But they haven't given me anything yet. They kind of stick to the it's either I'm a dork or I'm a tough guy. So it's like I get to play a chef, which is great. I get to play the waiter. I get to play there was one role that was a lot of fun. It was I actually like play kind of a James Bond type guy in Serbia.
Oh, cool.
And try to hit on this girl, and it doesn't work at all. And so that was a lot of fun because I get to go in with so much confidence, and then you see as it's going on, and she's just like killing everything I'm saying. So that was a lot of fun. That was fun.
So that was real acting, because usually when you hit on the girls, they just fall over like that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So the other actors in the show, have you worked with any of them before?
I have not. I've gotten really close to Tim. We've become really, really close as friends outside of work. The problem that we have with Leverage is, and here's the problem: we're so close. We're such a team, and we're such great friends when the camera's not rolling that it's very hard sometimes to differentiate between. Well, we've got to go, wait a minute, no, we're too relaxed, I don't like you. We have to remember that we're not a team as of yet, you know what I mean? So it was really hard because we bonded so quick. And then to go in and play these roles, you find yourself doing stuff that these characters wouldn't do. It's usually the opposite, like a lot of times it takes you have to immediately be bonded with someone in a role, and then it takes a long time outside of the set to bond with that person if it ever happens. With this one, we bonded so quick, and we're kind of, all at each other's throat throughout the thing, so we had to stop and then sit back and go, wait a minute, I don't like you. I got to remember that because I really, we become a family off the set. So
you guys, after the cameras are shut down, you go off and play poker in a motel room somewhere?
How'd you know that?
Oh,
well, we didn't play. We play at Tim's house.
Okay.
That's what we do. That's crazy that you brought that up. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We play. I've cooked for Tim's birthday. Everyone was over at the house, and I cooked a big meal. I love to cook. We hang out, and that's
cool.
That's very rare. Yeah.
Neat. So tell us a little about Dean Devlin, and he's a producer. He's also directed a couple of the episodes. Or?
Dean Devlin is directing for the first time.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know it. You really wouldn't know it. He's so. He has so much experience. It's ridiculous. But Dean. Not a lot of people know this. Dean used to be an actor. Always great to have someone who was an actor directing you.
Sure.
Because he's an actor, he gets it. He's not headstrong. He's like, Dean is like, people freak out when he comes on the set and he's directing because he's the guy. He's the man behind Leverage, and you snap to it. When he's around, very relaxed atmosphere. He's very professional. We get to do what we want. Dean's a fan of ad-libbing. Half the stuff on the show wasn't even written. Wow. Though we have the best writers, I honestly feel like we have the best writers in town. Half the stuff is, Dean produced Independence Day.
Sure.
He told me a story. He said most of the crap that happened between Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum was after the scene was done. Huh. They just kept going and ad-libbing, and Will Smith's like that, welcome to Earth, bitch, whatever it was, and punches the alien. Not scripted. Will did it. Came up with that. So Dean, as an actor, that's so unbelievable to get that much freedom, and he gives it to you, and that's what we do. That's what we do, and the writers have been really great because the writers sometimes say, "This is what I've written. This is what you're saying." We're very fortunate to work with the people that we work with because there's a lot of leeway there, which brings acting back into play, which makes it a creative. It's a creative. It's a team.
Sure.
We're making a television show here. We're not sticking to. That we're not sticking to our guns. We're not doing anything. We're literally like just freelancing, and that's where you grab something great. I honestly believe that because everybody's great in what they do, and if we all just kind of like work together, I don't know. I'm very proud. I kind of went off on a tangent there, but I just, as an actor, it's so relaxing and so inspiring to be able to work like this. You know what I mean, with no chains and no ropes. So
it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Especially for a new show, that's probably
it is. Exactly, and which is how we got our feet underneath us so quick, and how we developed our legs was from the simple fact that we worked together so quick, so well, right off the bat. So
great. It looks to me like it's filmed mostly in and around Chicago. Is that right?
It's filmed. The pilot was filmed in Chicago.
Okay.
Everything else was filmed in L.A.
In LA?
Yeah, which was very, because we go to Miami, we go to Aspen, we go to Serbia, we go to different countries, and it's like, and they actually did a really good job at recreating that.
But LA stands in for all those places.
It does, which is why people film in LA, because it really does have, anywhere you want to go, you can pretty much mock that in Los Angeles. But I don't know if we're going to be there next year, to be honest with you.
Dallas has really good production facilities.
Hey man, I'm pushing it. I tried to get. I said, Dean, take us to Austin, man, because Dean, I would love to go to Dallas or Austin or somewhere like that, man. I love Texas.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you remember anything about growing up in Dallas? When did you leave? How young were you?
Well, I grew up. I was born in Dallas. We lived in Garland for a while. My whole family's from McKinney. I still have family here, Plano and McKinney. My mom's side's from Plano, my dad's side's from McKinney, so we're all Texans. I moved back here, lived off like 635 in Skillman. Then I lived in Richardson for a little while. I've lived here 3 times. So yeah, like right around Restaurant Row there down in Floyd.
Nothing surprises you. Yeah.
No, man, these are my people.
Yeah.
Nothing surprises me. Okay. It's grown up a lot since I was here, but yeah.
Well, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Now, Christian, you played in a couple of westerns in your career. Do you like watching them as well as performing in them?
Love them. My favorite movie of all time is Outlaw Josey Wales.
Okay.
So big fan of that movie, and I've done for TNT again. I did Crossfire Trail with the amazing, the real cowboy and the American movie star Tom Selleck. I can't say enough about the guy. He took me under his wing, literally, during the filming. This was basically one of my first films. It was my first big movie that I was, really in, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And we're on horseback. I'm riding through the Rockies in Canada, in Calgary, with Tom Selleck.
Wow.
And it's a wide shot, so everybody else is like way off, and so basically it's just me and Tom out there, and I don't think I've ever been that close to God. It's just beautiful country, and I'm sitting there with Tom Selleck, and I came out to be an actor, and this was 8-10 years ago, so it was like it was very special to me. And I worked with one of your own here, Mr. Barry Corbin, who I've done a couple of films with. Barry's a very good friend of mine. He's a very close friend of mine, and so I did a film in Athens, Georgia, not this summer, last summer. Kind of a modern day Big Chill, and there was a bunch of young kids in it, I'm including myself. I'm not that young anymore, but and so we were in Athens, Georgia, and all these cats were going out and listen to bands and going to different bars and pubs and stuff like that. And every day I'd go down and sit at the bar with Barry Corbin, and we'd drink tequila, and we would drink beer, and we would spit dip, and he would tell me stories about Ben Johnson and then John Wayne and Wilford Brimley, and it was like I got to live a Western every night just by listening to him. And it's funny, when he talks.
Does he really have a drawl like?
Oh yeah,
that's what he
talks. There, yeah. Hey, come on down here if you want to. He's the real deal, man.
Yeah.
So I did that, and I did Into the West with Spielberg, which was on TNT, which I'm very proud of. I love that. I got to play. I'm Cherokee, so I got to play. I don't really look that Indian, but I got to play a half breed. I got to play, Cherokee and white. Or actually, it was Lakota and white. So I took that role. I was like, my grandpa's gonna roll over his grave if I don't take it. So I got to play an American Indian, which I was really proud of, and Secondhand Alliance with Mr. Robert Duvall.
Yeah.
And I love westerns. I love being on a horse, and if I get to.
So you could do that again if you got a chance.
You call me and I'm doing it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, give us a little insight into your musical career.
I have a band. It's actually Christian Kane. It's my name.
Yeah.
It's country music, man. I grew up on it. Mom and Dad. I didn't even know what rock and roll was until I was 13 because they just they always had a plan. Kenny Rogers, Crystal Gale, Dolly Parton. I knew all those songs, and that's what I did, man. My cousin's a country singer, and he was singing, and I did this, and when I first went up to Los Angeles, the first role I got was a television series called Fame LA, like Fame in New York, but it was Fame in Los Angeles, and I was supposed to be a comedian, and I'm about as funny as a stick, so they said, what else do you do? I said, well, I can sing, and so I sang for them, and I got the role. So it's really funny because a lot of people, when they talk about the music, they're like, well, here's another actor that wants to be a singer.
Yeah.
I actually got my first acting role because I was a singer. Yeah, and a lot of people ask me, they're like, why was grass not green enough for you? You got to be a singer now? I'm like, no, I'm just tired of all these singers taking my acting jobs.
That's interesting.
So, yeah.
Costner has a musical act.
This is what I hear.
I mean, he's going to be here in town at the Granada in April, March or April.
There's something I got to say something about that though. You know, with some really good singers, Costner's doing okay. John Corbett is doing great. He's a great singer, he's a good guy. That's not something that I do though. It's not that I'm an actor and I'm just kind of doing this on the side. I really, honestly, I moved to Nashville. I've lived in Nashville for the last 2 years, literally working on my album. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, and Billy Bob Thornton is a friend of mine, and he, you know, and a lot of these guys kind of screwed up for actors one, but it's really not like that for me. I really honestly am definitely concentrating on music right now.
Well,
I left the television series and moved to Los Angeles to do that. It was Leverage that brought me back to Los Angeles because I was living in Nashville only solely doing music, and I was going to stay out of television until, you know, maybe forever, until you get something like this, man. It was such a tight script, and of course the people that were involved, it brought me back, and it actually really, really inflamed my love of acting again. It really did. This is why I do what I do. I'm very fortunate, man. I can't say that enough. I mean, not everybody gets to wake up every day and do what I do, and I realize that I'm not, you know, I don't take anything for granted. So I was raised right. So, you know, it's I get up every day and sometimes I just yell out. I'm so excited, you know what I mean, to do what I do. I have not had a job in 10 years because I love what I do. You know, I get up and I show up and I go to what they call work. I pay to do what I do, and somebody's paying me, so I'm very fortunate.
It's pretty nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Any film projects in the works inside?
Got 3 in the can. Got a film called Hodge. Really kind of a serial killer type or a mass murderer type thing that we did, kind of natural born killers type thing that I did that I'm very actually really proud of, but it's a little violent. I finished a film called The Forlorn with my buddy Kane Crawford, who's actually going to be in Leverage in the last episode. I got him a role.
Cool.
It's a big fight scene with me and him. It's one of my great friends, Kane Crawford, and it's called The Forlorn. It's actually about the Donner Party.
Oh yeah.
So we filmed it out in Lake Tahoe, where all that stuff actually happened. That was very cool. It was very eerie and cool at the same time. Christian Glover's in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's a really cool thing. It's all of us. And then another one that I did with Barry Corbin, and they changed the name of it so much I'd love to promote it, but I don't know the name of it. It's something the wedding thing. I don't know what it is, but okay. So those are in the can. I was very fortunate to get those films. They actually called and said, you know, do you want to do them? Which I said yes to, because, you know, you need some money every once in a while. But other than that, I've really honestly been living in Nashville and concentrating on the music. Yeah.
Well, we'll be on the lookout for your.
Man, I hope you are.
Yeah. Just for the benefit of people in our audience who want to know, you married, single, going steady, got a significant other?
Well, I can't talk about that.
Okay.
I'm definitely not married.
Okay. Well, that's a start.
I'm not married. I mean, I can't even own a dog. There's nothing I want more in life than a dog. But I travel so much that, you know, I'm no good for anybody right now. I can't talk about that stuff.
That's fine. Just thought I'd ask.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Christian Kane, thank you so
much
for
thank you so much, man. I really appreciate your time, man. Thank you for coming up here and doing this,
you
man.
Bet, you bet.
Thank you.